Hey, hold on real quick. Hold on. Pause.
Earlier. And I feel like that about like even like dating and shit now. You know what I'm saying? Like in the past like year or whatever, like kind of getting back in. You know what I'm saying? Like the dating shit, like it's like that's just difficult, man. Like it's not the same as like back in the day when we didn't have that shit.
I have some questions about that being on the other side of the coin, but we'll wait on getting to that though.
Already, but like so. What about that? Like I don't know, like your relationship status or whatever, but like it's like the dating more online or whatever too.
Oh man, dating. So.
Or do you meet people out at these like little mixers?
All right, we'll just get into it now. So, okay, so I've always wondered, like, so I don't know. When I look at, I got lucky, honestly. Yeah. I was thinking about this today. I was thinking because I'm approaching 2-year anniversary. In fact, by the time people will listen to this, Monday, 2-year anniversary.
Wow, that's dope.
Yeah, just like that.
Congratulations, brother.
So, I think about like, man, I actually got lucky because I think about, I'm like, I don't know how I would meet people these days. I was like, I worked with Emily before. We were just friends, platonic, nothing for so many months.
Right.
Met the family, met the friends, got in cool with them all. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, wait, let's try it out. Yeah. So all the hard shit was out of the way, and I got lucky that I was already able to relate to somebody.
There was no pressure on it.
So I feel like nowadays you probably have to do so much pre-work, or you would like to do so much pre-work to kind of vet out, like, do I really want to invest in somebody that doesn't have interests like I do? Like, opposites attract, but you have to have similar lifestyles, right? Mm-hmm. But that window of, like, how much time you have to make that impression is so much smaller.
Oh, way smaller.
Because of digital age. So it's like,
because
you have to, how do you find, like, somebody you're like, you check all the boxes, you've at least gained enough of my interest to merit a second interaction.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, it's like job interviews. Like, you know what I mean?
Well,
like
that's a broken system too.
But I'm saying, like,
it's who you know.
But like, it's weird. Like, it's like, I don't understand it because, like, how you were saying it, like, it seems like with the online shit, it's kind of like there's really like that end goal. It's not just like meeting someone and it's like, oh, that person's cool. Like, we could be like, we're just friends from just meeting. You know what I'm saying? But, like, I feel like when you're on these apps and, like, dating online and shit like that, it's, like, there's more of it's like a mission. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like something that just happens. It's like it's not a chance encounter. Like, there's, like, you're on there trying to meet people. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's not organic.
Yeah, it's not. It's not organic.
I mean, the way I feel about it, especially dating inside a friend too, and there's 2 dimensions to how I want to answer that question, right?
Yeah, I want to get into that.
Is definitely, like, I think how dating is nowadays is completely fucked, right? Because of the onset of so many dating apps. Like you said, the window is so short, right? People aren't really looking or trying to figure out who that person is.
They're just trying to fuck, really.
Right, so it's either trying to fuck, or maybe they're just looking like okay, does this person have this? What job does he work at? Where, what type of person? Where has he gone? Let me look at the pictures and see if he's the type of person that's been traveling.
Right.
Does he not? Does he have a dog in this photo? Is he
right.
You know what I mean? Like,
and see, that's another thing that's hard to compete with too on those shit, because it's like some people could be just faking that shit.
Exactly.
Like not catfishing themselves, but catfishing their lifestyles.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
you only post what is the best part of your life.
Exactly.
Right?
You don't like you don't see yourself in the shits. Like, it's not just like, I don't know.
Like a LinkedIn profile, like, matches 8 out of 10 skills.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And they're like, okay, yeah, I want to look at you, but what about the other person who may not be there yet, but has a significantly better personality and is a better match for you? You don't even give that a chance because...
See, that's why I hate, like, Instagram, because it's image-driven.
Yeah. Exactly. It's highly image-driven.
Like, I hate that shit.
And
like,
people
for real.
post photos... 5 months after they've come back from the place that they've been at.
Take me back.
I hate that.
Like, trying to act like they're still there and want to go back. Like, it's all definitely a broken system. So it's like dating, I feel like, whether it's Tinder, Hinge, all these, I mean...
Damn, you get into the expensive ones.
Bumble.
He a premium dude looking for premium leads.
Yo, like, I'm trying to cast
and that's another thing. Man. And see, Mike, you said, okay, so you're into, like, actually, like, marketing, like, getting leads and that shit like that. It's the same fucking thing.
I won't generalize, right? Like, my experience with Tinder, I had a small window. It was basically 2014. That was the last time I used it.
I used that shit for like 2 months, and I was like, ugh.
Well, it became clear to me, like, okay, this is just like in any, if you have any kind of a marketing relationship with a business, you're trying to help increase their sales, right?
Right.
So how do you increase sales? You have to increase leads. So in theory, the more leads you have, the more sales you get. But then you kind of get into the point of like, all right, now at what point do the amount of leads become counterproductive? To where you have so many leads that you can't work them properly. You can't work the leads and actually nurture a lead, because they always say marketing rule of sevens, right? Seven times.
Well, I mean, that's why they have the swiping fucking.
Well, but here's where I'm going with that. So, like, how do you take them? That is like me clicking on an ad, right? Okay, I clicked. That's fine. I have some mild interest.
Did you buy something though?
I don't know if I'm even interested in buying anything. I might just click on like an ad because I'm like, I want to look at it for a minute, right? So that's kind of like with something like a Tinder, right? And I know people have made, marriages off of Tinder, so I can't generalize the entire thing. But my experience was like, more often than not great sales leads. Now there were some that, hey, sale, but like it wasn't repeat business. It wasn't like a customer for life.
Right.
It was like, you know what, this is a one-time purchase. They're not gonna come back. They bought the goods. They're not gonna return. So that's where you kind of have to look at, like, I don't know, like in an ideal world, you get all the high quality leads, right?
Yeah.
And that's not even to suggest, quality is in like superficial. I'm talking about somebody that matches what you're looking for. If you're looking for somebody that's funny, you want to find somebody funny. You're looking for somebody that is intellectual,
or
likes
even
to
just
be
looking
outdoorsy.
for what you're looking for.
That's what I would deem
I
a
think
qualified
that's like
lead.
where like it kind of comes back to.
Well, it's missing.
Those are like
It's missing in today's era.
Yeah, it is. It is, and I mean, I don't know. Like that's why I have to like leave that shit alone, bro. I was like, yeah, this is like fucking. First of all, this shit's lame. Even like I ain't gonna lie, I like paid for it for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Well, I ain't paid for it, but still, like it was getting paid for a minute.
I wouldn't be opposed to
that's
it.
when I ain't gonna lie, when I got like the most, like, you know what I'm saying, like, because I could tell who like fucked with me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's another thing too.
That was one of the cool things I liked.
So
like you had to match. It had to be interest. So it's like you're at least cutting out some of the time. Like you're not gonna waste.
Well, I feel
all your
like
time.
for females, they're cutting out like I don't know. I don't know how it would work for them, really, to tell you the truth. But I don't know. I feel like I rarely ever got matched with, bro. Like, straight up. Like, I mean, I've got matched with, like, plenty of times.
I thought you were going to say you rarely ever said no.
No, hell no.
Right,
hell no.
Hey, liquidation sale. Our leads call it. Hey, subprime credit.
Nah,
That's an easy way to get leads,
80% of, like, the, like, people that used to come by, I will fucking swipe left. Like, straight up. Like, it was a high percentage where I
Is
was
left
left.
good or bad?
Left is bad.
Yeah.
Bad.
Like,
Swipe
I was
right.
just like garbage. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would even read their bios and shit like that. Cause I was like,
How much? It's funny. Like knock. Like I do remember this. If like the image quality looked like they took it on a Razor phone, out.
Yeah, automatically.
Out. That's definitely.
Or
I see
like, I'm not
pixels.
gonna,
or
Out.
a pic with your old friend. If he's a guy, that's out.
Collarbone
You got a
up,
pic,
out.
Yeah.
no, I'm not gonna lie. I used to swipe right on those because it's like,
Collarbone
it's
out.
like, yo, what's up? Like, like that's your man's.
Oh, with the guy.
But I think something that you said about like just even the quality of leads and having so many, I think that kind of segues into like the second piece of just even San Fran, right? And I think sometimes with this stuff, because you have so many to choose from, it moves people to not necessarily want to take the time to actually know people, right? Learn you know what I mean? Because there's so many options. Why would you spend time on one or two when you know there's 50 other out there that you can match with and maybe go down a road and it's a little bit easier, right? So that's kind of like how it is in San Fran. I read this book called Datanomics, and super interesting book for anybody that's interested in that kind of stuff. But
Education.
it talks about the economics of dating specifically. Oh no, I'm good. And specifically the difference of the ratio between men and women and how in specific places that plays a part into how relationships go, right? So when you think about someplace like San Fran, right, there's more men than there are women. So what that means is that the women are revered, right? They're treated like goddesses because there's not as many of them. And from a woman's standpoint, they have so many choices to choose from. They can be extremely picky. right? If they want, we got a bunch of money,
Pedestal
right?
effect.
Yeah, they're all put on a pedestal. But if you go to some place like Manhattan, there's actually a college in Manhattan where the ratio of women to men, it used to be an all-girls school, right? Ratio of women to men is like, it's like 10 to 1, right?
Right.
So they call it something called golden cock syndrome. The ugliest guys get bunch of women, and they're all bad.
This is
Yeah,
like
but it's college
this is
is.
not-
So it's like,
Trying to go back to school.
This goes back to like, nature, our innate like just laws of nature, right? So like they say in certain ape civilizations where there's a surplus of women and there's less men that oh wait, maybe I got that backwards. No, where there's surplus of women and there's less men, their penis size will actually decrease. Because there's less competition.
Yeah,
No, and then
yeah.
the ones where there's like more men and fewer women, it's like, oh my God, there's so much more competition.
see,
Niggas gotta make them lightsabers.
biological level. It's crazy. Like it affects so much when there's no parity between men and women, right? So that's how San Fran is. It's hard. Most of the women there are either married or they're booed up because they get whatever the fuck they want. Any type of guy they want there's gonna be some flavor of ice cream for them. You know what I mean? But the guys, it's hard. It's tough. Because there's just not many of them. And, there's also not many black or Hispanic people, so that kind of cuts out a lot of the type of chicks that I'm interested in.
We all out. I was gonna say, or we would be like standing out like sore thumbs out there.
You know what I mean? So yeah, it's definitely very interesting, but we'll see, man.
Yeah, that's
It
dope.
is always a weird thing, like meeting new people, because I feel like part of it, there's like a fine line. Part of it becomes, as using another marketing term, keyword stuffing, right? You're trying to put all the things in there to check a box. But I mean, to that same point, you kind of have to lead with all your best qualities because you have such a short window. It's kind of self-fulfilling in that regard. And if you are going into a situation like, maybe Houston, like you said, maybe a little bit more an even ratio, it's more of a patient, long game. You don't have to make an impression right away. Whereas maybe there, where it's more competition, there's fewer selection. I don't mean this to make it like, oh, they're property, but mates, fewer selection of mates. That's where it can become more like, man, I got to get to the point quick. I got to be fast. It's got to get to the point,
elevator pitch,
right?
man.
Like that seems like that's kind of the dynamic.
I feel like here, like the there really is a game. If you want a chick number, just ask her for it here. Like you'll get it. I feel like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, and like that and vice versa. Obviously, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody here just like. I guess because it's so much even, it's just like, oh, okay, we're all just here. You know what I mean? Like,
definitely changed the whole dynamic of how you approach.
so that's weird.
those
That's a weird spectrum.
Well,
to
the
think
other
about.
the other like little fine line too is we've talked about before. The best things happen when you have no expectations.
Right.
Yeah,
So when it's organic and it just kind of happens, it's like, wow. But in your situation, it's like it'd be so much harder to create organic situations or kind of just stumble upon scenarios that are, that kind of cultivate an organic situation. So you might have to go to the technology to create that forced, just
Right.
because there aren't as many options. And like I said, look, if I'm looking at it, we're all 30 now. I'm fortunate, that I found my mate. But I'm like, if I was single right now, I'm like, most of the good ones, like you said, are going to be married or in a serious relationship.
Yep.
Or they've just been burned so many times that they're like, I'm just gonna chill for a while, So
That lie.
it's kind of that lie.
That lie. That's a fucking lie.
I haven't heard it. I'm
They
saying
Why?
They're getting digged down by somebody. Maybe
Yeah,
it's not you.
bitches. Yeah, it's just not you. You know what I'm saying? A
But
fucking lie.
like, if you're looking for like an actual, that's a different story. If you're looking for like a mate, like if you're looking for somebody to actually date, like. If you're looking to hook up, it isn't that hard. It's not that hard to find people.
Oh,
But if you're looking for a
not here.
significant other, like man, it's almost like going to like being a big market like the Knicks. Like all the free agents get signed up right away, and you're like, Julius Randle, we'll make it work. Like max contract. I love you.
In New York too, like the biggest fucking market. You know what I'm saying? Like,
But I mean, that's kind of the point, though. It's like it feels like you're already playing with a short hand because it's like, well, shit. It's not even that you're old and you're less desirable, but I feel like the ones that we're going for are probably about our age,
Exactly.
and they're mostly taken.
Yep. Similar boat. Yep. So,
Well, I don't know. I don't know, man. I feel like a lot of them, the ones I encounter, they be single to the motherfucker, at least acting like it.
But are they the ones that you want to date?
You know what? I really don't. Oh, you know what? That's a good question because I didn't think about the word date. Like,
Zoinks! Yeah, that was a good one.